KW. I know pro wrestling fans are excited to see him back on our televisions coming up this Saturday, live from the United Center in Chicago. He is none other than the former TNT champion. He is Miro. Miro, thank you so much for the time, man, and jumping on with us on GKW.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I love talking to you guys.
Uh, so the pro wrestling fans, I think, are excited to see you. How excited are you to be back inside a pro wrestling ring on Saturday?
Very excited. I've been aching for a long time. The Redeemer's been in the desert looking for answers. Maybe finding them, maybe not. But we have to find out this Saturday. But I'm very excited to be around the wrestling community and just the fans, man. I've never been to a United Center, never wrestled there, and the people in Chicago are unbelievable. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Miro, how difficult was it for you to have that time off? You know, fans have been looking for you. They love you and your character. So what was that like, just being off and being away?
It sucks. It sucks. Just like I said, looking for answers and not getting any. It's not a good place. And not just me, but just overall as a human being, when you have no answers to all these questions, it just eats you inside. And I had quite a long time to eat myself. And even though I'm still 260 pounds, I ate quite a bit. But I'm aching. I'm aching to come back and to find out what's going on, what's happening. It's been a while.
What did you miss the most during your time away?
The fans, always the fans, always the fans. That there's just nothing like the professional wrestling fans. That instant connection that you have with them as soon as you not even walk out, as soon as the music hit, when you hear the shofar, you hear the people just rising, they roar, man. That's what I miss. I miss performing in front of them because they deserve the Redeemer and I deserve them.
I was able to get some Miro, and was able to get them on East New York on CBS. And I saw you, and I've been watching that show ever since, by the way, because I'm thinking, I'm not getting Miro on the ring, but I'm getting him as a recurring character. And then they shot you, man. They killed you.
Spoiler alert, man. Spoiler alert, Jay Hood.
No, it's early enough. People figure it out. So I turned to my wife, I go, they just killed Miro. She goes, who? I go, they killed my Redeemer.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like working with Richard Kind in East New York?
It was great. It was so good. It was such a great opportunity because it was such a big show, and it's the pilot episode, we got 4 million views or whatnot, and all these guys who've been acting forever, just to give me the time of day to talk to them, to pick their brains, and all the producers, the directors, everybody was so great. I just loved that experience, but it wasn't that long, but I just cherished every single moment, and it got me to live in Brooklyn for a couple of weeks, which I previously hated, New York. But being there for a couple of weeks, living there like a local Brooklyneer will, I really had a good time. I really had fun times.
For those watching online, they can see it does say indeed Miro the Redeemer. So is that who we can expect to see back on Saturday? Is the Redeemer, or are there going to be tweaks to what the Redeemer is? Are those some of the answers maybe you found?
The answers I've been looking for, I haven't found, but what I've done, what we've done in AEW, it's I would say it's the longest story that we've had since the beginning, the arc of the character. Like I said, we started with the gamer, and then he had to snap. He had to destroy his best friend because he thought he was sabotaging him, to finally peak further and further, finally to find God on his side and run with that. And then after that was done, when the title got taken away, then I became from God's favorite champion to God's forsaken champion. It's always an arc. It's always an arc, but Redeemer is always there. And I don't think that anybody in the whole company can say about this continuous growth of a character like I have. But that's what I love about the professional wrestling. I love the storytelling. It's not just about two people in the ring swinging around. I think I love the storytelling of the business, and that's what I tend to do once I come back as the Redeemer.
Miro, I think in all walks of life, we have to have allies or mentors or people that are on your side. Who are some of your closest friends in the business that get you through the good and the bad?
Man, I would say Sheamus probably. Sheamus, he's a he's a great friend of mine. He's like a brother. We live together in Nashville, so I spend a lot of time with him whenever I can. If I can't see him, we always talk. But also this kid who just Toa Leona, he just started recently in AEW. He's a guy who was hungry, who came and asked me for advice and for help. And that was maybe a couple of years ago. And ever since, like, we kind of been training together in the gym, in the ring. And I'm trying to show him, share my experience with him. And he's become like a really, really, really good friend of mine, as well as somebody that I can, give some knowledge if he wants to listen, and he does.
So now that Miro the Redeemer is coming back again Saturday, it's going to be a part of Collision on TNT, the new show AEW is launching. Who are some of the stories, what are some of the stories you want to tell? Who are some of the people you want to tell stories with now that you're going to be back?
I really don't care. I don't have that pool. I just show up, I beat people, whatever they tell me. I write my promos, I deliver my promos, and everything else is up to him, to the man who sit on top of that chair. I don't have no I'm not that guy that, I want to work with this guy or with this guy or with that guy. No, man, just give me your best. I'll take them all. Um, with that being said, like I said, it's all about the story. It's not just about who you're fighting. It's about the story, how you get there. Let's get there in a way that people are going to be intrigued by it. Then let's have a good match after. But I'm interested in the storytelling as well.
Miro, we haven't been able to talk to a lot of people about how difficult it was to wrestle during the pandemic. You made your debut during that time in AEW. So what was that like going through that? Again, very few fans or no fans, and you had to still be able to project and put your character out there. What was that like for you?
Man, it was very interesting time. Because I have never wrestled in front of nobody since WWE developmental days. When we had like 50 people in the audience, and it was so weird because when I got released from WWE, we still had the 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 people. Saudi Arabia, 60,000 and all that. So it was interesting, but it's a challenge. It was a challenge for everybody, not just for me. But once you know who you are and know how to turn it on, it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 1 million people out there. You gotta be sure of who you are and not just fold under pressure, because there's a lot of pressure where there's nobody there. As professional wrestlers, we're used to getting the Eastern or boo or whatever. But when there's nobody there, you just gotta trust that what you're doing is good. And I always knew that my I was gonna say a bad word. My stuff is the best. So I have no doubt in myself. So therefore, personally, it did not bother me, even though I love the fans. Of course, we all wanted to see the fans, but hey, we went through it, and now we're back in the full arenas.
I understand maybe this might be a tough question to answer, but what is it about the characters, whether it's been the gamer, whether it's been the Redeemer? I just feel that fans have always been drawn to you. Is that what kind of allowed you to give some of that confidence that you were just talking about during the pandemic when no one's there? Because again, I feel whatever character you've put out there has been attractive to fans and they've been drawn to it.
Oh, it's about committing. It's about committing to the character and not half-assing it. Because once you half-ass it, these people can tell right away. They'll chew you out for it. And I've always prided myself not with the greatest Dave Meltzer 6-star matches and all that kind of like irrelevant stuff. I always pride myself with the crowd reaction and the connection, like you said, with the people. And that's always going to be my number one goal, to connect with the fans, give the reaction that I want to receive, and then go by that. And I know I'm the best at that because I don't just put my stuff together just A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever it is. I want to be out there. I want to feel what these people want to see. And that's something that I learned from Cena. Just it's not about the match. It's about who is out there, who's watching, what are you hearing? Is it low? Is it high? That's the things that I learned, wrestling John Cena, 300 days, which some of these people don't even have that many matches. I've wrestled this man for years and years. And he's just one of my teachers and mentors. I can name all these other Hall of Famers that taught me. It's not just about the match, it's about the connection.
So do you get a chance to pick your music? And the reason why I ask is because last time you were in Chicagoland at the Sears Center, as soon as that first chord hits, people know it's you, and the people just stood up and they applauded and they cheered. What's that process like with the music?
Well, I had that. Sorry, somebody's bringing me.
Tony Khan.
I had the vision, man. Once the character was coming together, the Redeemer, and I knew because the Redeemer is who I am. It's not just a fake character. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. I think He brought me everything I have. So it's my duty to serve Him and show the people that God is real. And once everything was starting to come together, the I'm the best man music did not work. It worked for the previous guy, but not now. And I had a
Mhm.
vision for this new song, and I got together with the music department, and I knew what I wanted. I knew I wanted the shofar to start. I wanted some drums. I wanted some battle rhythms. I wanted all that. I wanted to feel that we're going to war with God on our side. And that's how everything came together. He sent me one thing. I said, no, let's switch this with this and this with this, and we started like cutting it down and narrowing it down. And what you hear now, it's the final process, the final product. And I love my music, man. Before I love my Rusev music when I first started, but this is on a whole nother level. I think it suits me so well, and we've put in work. Not just me, but the music department as well. And I thought it came out brilliantly.
What are some of the other? You mentioned how much you love the storytelling aspect of what you do. What are some of the stories from the past that maybe you've drawn from to try to apply to modern day professional wrestling?
I don't draw from the past stories. What happened in the past, stay in the past. Like people saying, oh, you should do the Rusev Day thing or the Miro Day. It's like, no, I don't. As much as that worked, it was great for that time, but I don't like doing the same gig twice. And we had, yeah, as far as stories, it's all about just searching within yourself. And it's not just even stories in wrestling. You can get stories from movies, from animation, from whatever it is. You can get stories, and it's not just the story just by itself. It's just you have to take, what is the good guy's motif? What is the bad guy? What is the in between? What is all these details? That's what I like telling. I like getting nothing and building it and just creating something and letting it unfold. And once you see that people love it too, it's like, man, like you have some kind of a verification. And that's why I was so excited about storytelling. I wrote a movie as well based on kind of a wrestling situation. It's just because when you have that creativity, you just want to lay it out somewhere. What is going to be in the ring, in the paper, in the ring, in the music, whatever it is. When you're creative, you have to stay creative. You have to get these juices keep flowing and flowing because otherwise you get dumb.
That's true. You remember that, Gabe? You get dumb if you don't move around and if you don't do stuff, right? Got to be
Yeah, man.
creative.
You gotta keep that brain circuit. Now I'm signed up for these brain classes, just to keep developing my brain. And I don't want to get no Alzheimer's, and I don't want to get all these things. I want to get smarter. I want to keep expanding my brain and expanding my capacity. Creating these new neurons and all that kind of stuff. And it's all exciting process.
Wait, what's that course like? Those brain classes? What was that detail? How do you take a brain class?
Man, so back in the day when we shot Total Divas, we went
Yeah.
to this place. It was called what was it called? I forgot. But anyways, we did the test like a baseline, short-term memory, long-term memory, logistics, blah blah, everything and anything, and then they give you the result. And I was bottom on everything. I was like, man, this is not good. And but that was a few years ago, and I kind of, you're busy, we travel. But now that I have a little more time, I'll say, hey, maybe I should revisit that. And I signed up, and it's a private class. It's a one-on-one on Zoom. It's an hour and a half, 3 days a week, and you do these tasks, these math equations, these reaction time, like these arrows that you gotta, what's pointing where and what. You gotta close your eyes to some things, open and see what's happening, close again. And all of this is just to help, like I said, the short-term memory, long-term memory, speed reaction of your brain, creativity, and all that kind of stuff. And there's probably 20 or 30 different exercises that we do on a weekly basis that we split like in different amounts of time, like math without using no paper. You got to calculate everything in here. There's like they say 25 plus 35. You got to give the answer. Then they give you a new number. You got to remember the second one. Throw away the first one, and then it goes and goes and goes and goes. It's so many things, man. But I highly recommend it for people that they have. And it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but I feel like, overall, it's just I keep investing in myself.
Could Sheamus pass that class?
Oh, absolutely not. Let's not kid ourselves. He's taking way more bumps than I have.
Oh, man. Miro, I feel like we have to ask, we're 15 minutes in, because not only is it your big return coming up on Saturday, but CM Punk also returning to an AEW ring on Saturday. What is your relationship like? What has it been like with CM Punk?
I get along with him fine. I think every time we talk, I feel like we have a mutual respect. Yeah, so I've never had anything bad like engage with him. But everybody hears a whole bunch of things. But man, if you're not happy with something, just do whatever you want to do and then go cry in your mansion. Like I don't understand all the lashing out, but everybody's responsible for their own action. Like I said, I get along with him good. We've talked. We have great interactions, even though we had 2 or 3 of them. But yeah, I don't care. It's not. I look at myself. I don't look at other people's plate. That's what the Bible taught me. Don't look at other people's plates. Look at you, and take care of yourself and everybody else. Just all you can do is just pray for them, and whatever happens, happens.
So the company is growing, as we know, because we're talking about AEW Collision every Saturday now on Warner Media. So it's Dynamite, it's Rampage, and now the show Collision. What do you think of the state of the company right now?
It must be good. We have a 3rd show. It must be really good because, like, I don't think the Warner Brothers would have given us a 3rd show if we sucked. So I feel like there's a high demand on the show. Whether the ratings, everybody's so crazy about his ratings, man. It's so annoying that it's unbelievable. But I guess today's game, it's about these numbers and ratings. But I guess we're doing well. They're giving us this Saturday show that it's live, and it's the first live Saturday show in 20 some years. So we must be doing something right. And I'm excited to be on it. To be honest, I would rather be on Collision than on Dynamite or Rampage.
Why is that?
Because it's new, it's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
People want to see new and fresh. And I already been to Dynamite. I did what I had to do. I became champion there. I did it all. And now let's get the new thing, man. And if there's going to be like a roster like dedicated to each side or whatnot, I think that's exciting as well. I stay in my house, you stay in yours, and when the time is right, let's connect and freaking destroy some things. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Get behind that, certainly. Just quickly then, what do you, because again, I feel like, yes, everybody, kind of focuses on those ratings. And even though I don't think anybody, A, if people knew how ratings were actually calculated, they wouldn't care as much. B, like, I don't know if people actually know what those numbers mean. But what do you look like? What does success look like to Miro the Redeemer?
In life?
Yeah.
Yes.
To be faithful to God, to I would say promote his name, to say that if you stay pure to your heart, you stay clean, your soul is clean, and you keep praying, that anything is possible. If a kid from Bulgaria can come, stay illegally, made his way to the biggest, grandest stage of them all, perform in front of 120,000 people, and it's all because of God, not because of what I've done. Without him, I was nothing. And that's what I want people to realize, that there's help, there's a higher being, higher help, that he can help anybody, but you have to ask.
Miro, I certainly have enjoyed this conversation. Going to be rooting for you. Can't wait to see you Saturday night Collision at the United Center down in Chicago.
Yes, sir. See y'all there.